Sometimes, life feels unfair. A small problem can ruin our whole day, while some people stay peaceful even in pain. What's their secret? This story will show you a truth that can completely change how you handle life's challenges. Listen carefully, because this story might open your heart in a way you never expected. Once, in a peaceful town surrounded by hills, there lived a young man named Ethan. He was a good person, but he was always unhappy. No matter what happened, he found something to complain about. He felt like nothing in his life was going right. One cloudy afternoon, Ethan went to a small tea shop near the marketplace. He sat quietly in the corner with a cup of tea in his hands. His mind was full of worries. He didn't have a stable job, his parents were disappointed, and his future seemed completely uncertain. He looked out of the window, lost in thought, when he heard a few old men talking at the next table. Even though he wasn't trying to listen, their voices were loud and clear. One of them said, "You know that old hermit who lives beyond the hills? People say he may look simple, but he has deep wisdom. My nephew was lost in life, but after spending one evening with that old man, his whole attitude changed." Another man added, "Yes, they say he can make your heart lighter just by talking to you." Ethan became curious. He thought, "My heart feels so heavy these days. Maybe that old man can help me too." So that evening, as the sun began to set behind the hills, Ethan quietly started walking along the narrow path that led to the other side. The journey was long and silent. Finally, he reached a small wooden house surrounded by trees. An old man with kind eyes sat outside, feeding some birds. Ethan went closer and said softly, "Sir, my life feels empty and full of pain. No matter what I do, I can't find peace. Please tell me, how can I be happy?" The old man looked at him gently but said nothing. He stood up and walked inside the house. Ethan waited, feeling a little confused but respectful. After a few minutes, the old man returned. He was carrying a glass of water and a small bowl of salt. He placed them on the table and said, "Take a handful of this salt and mix it into the water. Then drink it." Ethan hesitated for a moment, but he did as he was told. The water tasted awful. He frowned and said, "It's too salty. I can't drink this." The old man smiled slightly. Then he said, "Now, take the same amount of salt again and follow me." They walked together toward a large, quiet lake nearby. The surface of the water glowed softly under the evening light. The old man said, "Now throw the salt into the lake." Ethan threw it into the water. Then the old man said, "Now, take a sip from the lake." Ethan bent down and drank a handful of water. It was cool and refreshing. The old man asked, "How does it taste?" Ethan smiled, surprised. "It tastes fresh. I don't taste the salt at all." The old man nodded and said gently, "Son, the amount of salt I gave you was the same, but the difference is not in the salt, it's in the container." He paused and continued, "Pain in life is like this salt. It's always there. Everyone gets their share. But how much of that pain you truly feel depends on how big your heart is. If your heart is like a small glass, even a little pain will make your life bitter. But if your heart becomes like a big lake, that same pain will lose its power." Ethan stood silently, listening deeply. The wind moved gently over the water, and something in him began to change. The old man added, "The glass and the lake are just symbols, my boy. They represent your patience and acceptance. When your patience is small, even tiny problems feel huge. But when your patience grows, when your heart learns to stay calm and kind, no storm can truly shake you." He looked into Ethan's eyes and said, "There is no one in this world who doesn't face difficulties. We all have pain, fear, and loss. But remember, we also learn through those moments. Without darkness, we can never understand the value of light. Without sadness, we can never taste true happiness." The old man picked up a small stone and threw it into the lake. Ripples formed and slowly disappeared. He said softly, "When problems come, don't let them drown you. Be like the lake, still, deep, and peaceful. The ripples will fade, and calmness will return." For the first time in a long while, Ethan smiled. He felt lighter, as if a weight had been lifted from his heart. He thanked the old man and walked back home under the stars, feeling a quiet peace within him. So remember, pain will always be a part of life, but how deeply you feel it depends on the size of your heart. If you grow your heart like a lake, no problem will be too strong for you. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs peace today. And if you want more stories like this, don't forget to subscribe Wisdom Stories, and stay with us for more.